Many of you who have been watching my videos, or maybe you're someone who's heard of the Schumann resonance, and you're probably wondering, does this affect me? Thing is, it does affect some people. People who are really, really sensitive, weather sensitive, and honestly, we have a lot to break down in this video. So, whether you're one of those people or whether you want to know how it affects you, what kind of symptoms you have, well, by all means, we got the proof of it. So, we got a lot to break down in this video. So, again, in my Schumann Resonance course that I'm making, Joe Sky, yet again, that's me. I already talked about what it is and how to read it. This video is how it affects us and whatnot. And of course, what kind of symptoms and much more. So this is by NASA, um, science.nasa.gov. Anybody can go on this. Um, and this was they did a little study um, to see um, behavioral, physiological, and psychological changes. And overall, of course, it's not anything is a bit complicated because many things affect the Schumann resonance. Mostly geomagnetic activity, sun activity, solar wind speeds. These are the things that truly have an effect on us. So when the Schumann resonance starts spiking, it's not more so of just it spiking, but more so of everything else that's also going on, right? Because everything is, what is the word? One, everything kind of like coincides and whatnot. So overall, of course, um, here's what happened. The study was conducted in which the HRV was measured in a volunteer human subjects over the course of 5 weeks, and they were collecting a bunch of environmental data. Changes in the cosmic ray flux and solar radial flux Schumann resonance power were found to be correlated with increased HRV, which is like human heart rate stuff and heart rate variability, and as well as your parasympathetic activity. And if I'm not mistaken, um, your nervous system and things like that definitely feel it, especially when it's spiking and things are very, very active. So, um, definitely does make changes and whatnot. They also did it on animals and whatnot, and you could also look more into that. But overall, of course, many people tend to feel all sorts of things. See, because our brain waves operate at similar frequencies, alpha, theta, and things like that. And when the Schumann resonance is spiking um, in different wavelengths and different frequencies, higher frequencies, that's when we start to feel it more. When the environment shifts, some people feel off balance, and kind of like how people could feel a storm coming in, right? People that are very sensitive are definitely going to be picking up on this, right? They usually tend to happen during solar activity, whether it's coronal holes like we've been having recently, as well as the fact of geomagnetic storms, solar storms, all those things. So overall, of course, um, that's when it usually tends to happen. So the Schumann resonance does play a part, and people will definitely feel these things, just depends on what also is going on, because that also has a massive impact as well. Of course, um, I think people on the more intuitive side, energetically sensitive and emotionally reactive, are definitely going to be feeling this. Now, the symptoms are all over the place. We, of course, have head pressure, ringing ears, dizziness, maybe even a floaty feeling, heart palpitations, sleep disruption, fatigue, sudden exhaustion, hot flashes or chills. Those are physical symptoms. Mental and emotional symptoms. You might be feeling the anxiety, the restlessness, wired, not tired, tired, wired, etc. Like you might be feeling that, like you're just so out of it. You might have a hard time focusing because the Schumann resonance. Once we start passing 30, 40 hertz, that's when we start to go into different brain waves and whatnot, that are more on the energetic side. And this is where trouble sleeping happens, trouble keeping your thoughts right, because your brain is racing, it's energetic. So you'll definitely be having some things. Um, and for some people, they might have that emotional purging, feeling out of sync, intuition spikes. That's a weird one. Um, yeah, maybe not that one, but vivid dreams, or maybe their intuition does raise. You know what I mean? Um, so overall, of course, um, but what makes us stronger is probably going to be high solar wind speed and basically coronal holes, geomagnetic activity, things like that. And these will influence sleep, which is very important for most of you. Your nervous system. If your nervous system is not regulated and you've been traumatized, you're probably going to be feeling things um, a lot more intensely. And for people who don't have their emotions right, or you deal with a lot of outer stress, things tend to just woo ramp up. So there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things that really add up to it. So of course, it's nothing to worry about. But then again, um, people that are sensitive and people that are definitely um, feeling these things, well, let me tell you, you're not alone. And in this community, we're definitely helping people go through the ascension process as well as get through this. Um, Overall, of course, we are definitely in a solar maximum. Maybe we're going down solar minimum. Well, I wouldn't say we're out of it, but I think it's a sign that we kind of hit the peak recently. I think we did. Um, so a lot of things, have been happening. A lot of people have been feeling all sorts of things. Overall, of course, it's interesting now. It's the case. Especially the last 5 years, I would say this has really been the case where more people, and I think that just has to do with the way things are now. Um, we're learning, we're growing, but overall, um, you've seen the proof. Um, you know where to look to see what's going on. If you want to know if your symptoms are, you know, if they're valid for the way you're feeling. So overall, of course, thank you all so much for watching, and make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. And yeah, these definitely have an effect on many people. I told you all the symptoms you can have, and people, again, people with messed up nervous systems, and people who've been traumatized and have and had mainly like those kind of. I feel like those people will struggle more. But overall, of course, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.